we have a manual. Would you like to see what third gear feels like? Of course you would. I'm just gonna be giggling this entire video. We're gonna take this thing out for a drive, not around here, on some nice country lanes, as we always do. And we'll see what it's like. It is completely standard. It has some little aero bits, but it's just exterior modifications. The engine and everything else is completely standard. And the best part is, it's a manual. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna see what it's like. And we'll get into it. Here we are. First of all, I just want to say thank you to this wonderful man on my side. He's a subscriber of the channel and he's let me drive his m140i. So thank you very much, I really appreciate it. If you want to let me drive your car, then just get in touch. Either leave a comment or send me an email at the email address in the description and we can arrange me to drive your car, get it on YouTube. I'm in the London area, North Londonish. We have a manual, can you believe it, m140i, and we're coming into national speed limit. Would you like to see what third gear feels like? Of course you would. Oh, fantastic. So as always with my reviews, we're gonna go through power and drivetrain first. This is the legendary B58, right? Mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. What more could you ask for? Creamy 6-cylinder BMW goodness. Second gear? Second gear is ridiculous. Right, we won't do that. I just want to feel it out and see what it feels like in the corners. Oh, mate, it is a phenomenal car. Brakes are lovely too. Does all right. Woo! 370 horsepower in a little car like this is quite spicy. It almost feels as if BMW have basically developed an engine and then just shoved it into this tiny little car. A bit more of that, I think. You can feel the open diff over the bumps, where like there's undulations in the road. You can feel one of the rear tires start to spin up, but brakes aren't bad. I'm just gonna be giggling this entire video. This is a fun car. I just want to touch on the idea of having this 3-liter, almost 400 horsepower engine in front of me, while being mated to a 6-speed manual. Like, that's petrol head. That's very, very cool. And this man next to me is an absolute G for buying one with a manual, because you never see them with manuals. The steering in this car is a little bit vague. It's a bit light. And I think maybe just because I've come straight out of the Megane, it's probably really good, but to me it feels a little bit vague. And then the suspension is a bit wallowy. You can tell it's similar to like standard 1 Series suspension, but you can still throw it in. Like, the grip is there. There's plenty of grip. It's just about getting the confidence, because I feel like the steering being a little bit light doesn't give you quite as much confidence. But then the real star of the show comes out. I literally pitch back in my seat every time I do that. It's absolutely nuts. It's a lovely car. It is a fantastic car. But you see, I slow down a bit more than I really need to. Maybe it's just because I've been driving the car like 10 minutes. So I don't know what it can and can't do yet. Maybe with time you develop an understanding. Oh God, that feels so good. Okay. There are some limitations in the suspension and the steering, and that's why it's an M140i, not an M1. But you gotta forget about that, because it really doesn't matter. The smile that this car will put on your face when you press that pedal down there, it's really, really enjoyable. And I understand why so many petrol heads love these cars. They're unburstable. They're really, really strong engines, which is fantastic for, but whether you want to tune it up and make it an absolute rocket, you can, or if you want to just keep it standard and know that it's going to last the test of time, you can. So now that kind of feeds me into, I want to talk a little bit about practicality, but I think it's even more interesting if we talk about the value proposition of this car, because they're not super expensive as far as newer cars go, and especially as far as performance cars go. They're not super expensive. You can get in at a reasonable price, right? But I think long term, these cars will hold their value so well, because BMW are never again going to make a 3-litre rear-wheel drive hot hatch. Nobody's doing that anymore. Everything's going to go electric and it's going to go hybrid, and we're all going to be bored to death. But if you're a real petrol head, you will always find these interesting. So in 20 years' time, these are going to start rising in value, and you're going to see the same effect as with the E46 M3, which you could get for pennies, and now that a nice one is like 20-30 grand, you're going to see the same effect with these cars, because there's a little bit of special sauce in here. There's something, yes, maybe the suspension's a bit soft or whatever, but watch this. It's so fucking good. It is so good. And it's a little car. It reminds me a little bit of my Mini. It's not super wide. You can pick your line a little bit as you go through a corner. Ladies and gents, I have found sport mode. Can you believe it? Ignore everything I said before. Look, we have sport mode. Shall we do second? This might be a bit nuts. Get out the way, bird. Fucking Christ. Oh, yes. The steering feel in sport mode is so much better. Oh! Mate, the straights are where it's at in this car. This car loves the straights. But yeah, before I was complaining a little bit about struggling with the steering, I was in comfort mode. Of course I was struggling. It was like super light and wishy-washy. It's still not the last word in directness, but it's so much better. It's pretty fucking good here. Woo! The power's lovely, man. Oh, mate, this car's a laugh. Do you know what it reminds me of? This car's like a muscle car. It's fucking tears down the straights, and then it's a little bit washy in the corners, but in a fun way, in an enjoyable way. I don't know, man. I'm kind of falling for this car. Every time I press the loud pedal, I'm just fucking loving it. We're gonna go down probably my favorite road, which is the Crooked Mile. You've seen this bit of road in almost every single one of my videos. It's coming to the end of our little review session. I want to thank our subscriber once again. I really appreciate you letting me drive this car. Absolute legend. But let's go. Oh, God, yes. Like a roller coaster, mate. We'll dodge this little pothole. You've got a cracker of a car. Yeah. I've been won over a little bit. I think there are cars with better handling. But for pure fun and just putting a smile on your face and using it every day as a normal car, I literally could not think of a better car at this class. It's fucking legendary, as the title of the video says. Thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate your time. If I could have a like, and if you could subscribe, that would mean an absolute, literally everything to me. You guys always leave comments, and I've really enjoyed interacting with you, so please do that. But thanks for watching. Should we do just one more? Just one more? I like the loud pedal. I like this pedal so much. Goodbye, guys.